Dear friends, welcome to my channel of Beat Economics. I'm Satya Das. I'm an economist. I have done academic research, written professional articles and books, and taught undergraduate, master's, and PhD level courses in universities and institutes in the US, India, and elsewhere. This is an introduction to the economics of religion. You might wonder, what has religion got to do with a subject like economics? On second thought, you may think that it's about economic behavior as outlined in some religious scriptures. For instance, Islam strongly recommends zakat, a charity, more like a tax on wealth, about 2.5%. The economics of religion is not about theology or religious beliefs per se. It doesn't question the validity of religious beliefs or the authenticity of religious institutions. It simply accepts them as they are. And it is not about what is sometimes called religious economics, meaning the use of religion to provide social commentary on economic systems and behavior, or the evaluation of economic policies from a religious perspective. How do we define religion? According to an eminent scholar in the field, Lawrence Iannacone, religion refers to a shared set of beliefs, activities, and institutions premised upon faith in supernatural forces. What does the economics of religion deal with? Factors that determine religious beliefs and behavior, the nature of religious institutions, and the socio-economic impacts of religion. While the modern economics of religion began in the 1970s, in his famous 1776 treatise, Wealth of Nations, Adam Smith, who is revered as the father of economics as a subject, had observed that religiosity is influenced by the extent of regulation in the market for religion. It is absolutely remarkable that he had thought about religion through the lens of a market and about regulation by a state or some religious authority. And by market, in this context, he meant that religious beliefs and behavior are provided and shaped by institutions like churches and mosques. However, interestingly, many 19th century scholars, including Karl Marx, Sigmund Freud, and Auguste Comte, thought that religious commitments spring from nothing less than irrationality. And this paved the way for the so-called secularization hypothesis, which says that religion reflects our primitive past and it is bound to decline in an era of education, particularly science and technology. Similar views were expressed by prominent figures in the past, like Galileo, Voltaire, and Mark Twain. Does this hypothesis hold? We'll touch upon it a bit later. How do we organize the subject matter of the economics of religion? Apart from its history, we can divide it into three parts. First, the understanding of religious behavior. This includes how economic and non-economic factors affect religious behavior in terms of one's beliefs, morals, and religious choices. Second, understanding how religion informs economic behavior, performance, and institutions. The economics of religion also sheds light upon the impact of religion on mental and physical health, marriage, and not to mention religion-based terrorism in the past few decades. Third, understanding the role of a state, like what are the effects of a state's intervention in religious affairs. I hope you begin to see the vast scope of this subject. Let's scratch the surface of it a bit further so that we feel more grounded. First, about understanding religious behavior. We can think of religion as a product which we demand. Think of why we want to ask for a cup of coffee, say at Starbucks. Because it gives us pleasure or utility. Likewise, practicing religion in terms of setting inner values or going to a place of religious worship can be seen as consumption of or demand for religion that gives us utility or inner satisfaction via our belief system. The economics of religion uses terms like secular goods vis-a-vis religious goods. Secular goods are those that are available in a marketplace, whereas religious goods refer to non-market behavior, and these are provided by religious institutions. Hence, we may think of religion in terms of forces of demand and supply that are the standard concepts and tools used by the economists. Let's briefly talk about the secularization hypothesis. Its validity has been tested by statistically estimating from data the impact of real per capita income on religiosity. Cross-country regression analysis shows that on average, an increase in the real per capita income has a statistically significant negative impact on religiosity. However, the magnitude of it is rather small. Therefore, we can say that religiosity is quite alive and well today, despite possibly a mild decline over a long time. Next, how do we analytically view organized religion or faith? The traditional view is that a religious institution or an organized faith is like a seller or a provider offering a product, and there is product differentiation. For example, we can say that Christianity and Hinduism offer different religious goods. And even within a broad religion, there are different strands. For example, within the Protestant faith, different types of churches exist based on slightly different rituals, experiences, and services. The modern view is that instead of a simple surplus maximizing entity where a surplus is defined broadly, an organized faith is like a private club with entry barriers and other requirements, and featuring religion as a public good. It's a more refined and insightful version of the supply side of religion. It's called the club theory of religion due to Lawrence Iannacone. I will, however, not explain it in this video as it would take some time. How about the effect of religiosity on economic performance? There are empirical works on the impact of religion on economic growth. But before talking about some of the findings, it is worth noting that in the early 20th century, the German sociologist Max Weber wrote to the effect that individual religiosity, by fostering personal traits like work ethic, honesty, trust, and thrift, would positively affect individual and group economic performance. He argued that these personal traits were stimulated by the Protestant Reformation in the 16th century, and they vitally contributed to the Industrial Revolution. And that is why the Industrial Revolution took off earlier in Protestant areas like England, parts of Germany, and the Netherlands, rather than Catholic-dominated countries like France or Italy. There are, of course, counter-arguments to this hypothesis, which I would not get into in this video. In their empirical research, Rachel McCleary and Robert Barrow find that religious beliefs, in particular and interestingly, beliefs in the notions of heaven, hell, and afterlife tend to increase economic growth, whereas church attendance per se has a negative impact on economic growth. These authors differentiate between believing in religion, meaning religious beliefs, and belonging to religion, meaning being part of a religious institution, and show carefully that these two types of religious behavior may have very different effects on economic growth. I find this quite interesting. Dear friends, the economics of religion is a fascinating and a thriving field within the discipline of economics. It is far beyond the handful of examples I have outlined in this introductory video. But I hope it will motivate you to learn more about it, and I hope to upload videos on different aspects of this subject in the near future. Thank you so much for watching and your patience.